What is up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Beatbox video series. In today's video, I'll be giving you 5 reasons on why BTC's price is coming to a resolution really soon. But first, remember to smash that like button, subscribe, and leave me some comments on what are you liking from the channel. So jumping in, the first reason is a strong one, but it's a pretty simple one. And it's because BTC has been trading really oddly to what it usually does. BTC is a momentum driven asset class. More often than not, it's trending whether to the upside or to the downside. But for now, BTC it's currently forming the longest range in its trading history. So that's pretty atypical for the most volatile asset class in the world. BTC and crypto are the most volatile asset that you can find in the markets, and it's pretty weird that you're seeing 200 days plus of just ranging sideways. So I keen that that's not gonna last for too long. It's just very atypical of BTC to be ranging for 217 days, and if you actually check history, this is the longest range it's been on. If you check the previous summer from last year, it's at around 215, 216 days before the breakout. So you are already on the longest range before last year's range, basically. And if you check any other range, for example, bear market lows down here, 62 days, the range before that one, 146 days, and you get the picture. Even the long range before the breakout on 2020, before the bull market, you can see 160 days, which this felt pretty bad in markets. If you were trading BTC, it's just pretty boring. You did have some DeFi summer here price action on August, but regarding BTC, it was pretty boring. So the first reason is that I don't see BTC holding this range for too long or any longer. I think the resolution is coming. My bias is that it's coming within October, but I don't see it going any longer than November, to be honest. So it's just first reason is a strong one, longest range. Something's gotta give, and I think it's gonna give soon. The second reason on why price resolution is coming soon relies on the Bollinger Bands. If you don't know what the Bollinger Bands are an indicator created by John Bollinger, which uses standard deviations to a moving average, which basically tells you whether if price is compressed or is it expanding. Basically, it tells you how volatile an asset has been. And for now, you can see here on the weekly, we've been compressing volatility since July. So that's basically a recipe for volatility expansion, whether to the upside or to the downside. The purpose of this video is not to tell you which direction we'll go, because no one knows. I don't know. I do have my bias that it's going up. But what I can tell you for certainty is that this compression is pretty like the one that we saw on August and September of last year that lasted for a couple months, and we already been compressing for a couple months here. And I can actually also measure how compressed the Bollinger Bands are with the Bollinger Band width here indicator. And you can see that the width of the Bollinger Bands looks pretty similar to before the breakout here on last year. You see a bottom, then possibly a second bottom, and then the expansion to the upside, just like what it did on 2023. And if I also pull up the 9-day chart, I know this is a more arbitrary time frame, but I do use it as well. You can see how compressed the Bollinger Bands are. You can see you did a lower low here on the compression, and it also looks similar to 2023, which did somewhat of an equal low down here on the Bollinger Bands. And you've seen, you can appreciate that we've been compressing for longer than that when it did on 2023. So reason number 2 is the weekly time frame on BTC. Volatility looks strongly compressed. I don't think that's gonna last too long. You're repeating the pattern from 2023, and I expect volatility to expand again to the upside. And also on the MACD, you've been putting negative momentum for so long. You've been developing negative momentum on the weekly time frame for 161 days, which is almost one of the largest negative momentums on the weekly time frame for BTC. The bear market 2018 one was longer, but you're comparing it to a full-on bear market. So price basically holding 60K, and you've been putting down basically this kind of negative momentum, which is about to possibly flip green here. You're entering neutral here on the oscillator. You're pretty close to a full reset on the MACD histogram here, which hopefully flips green with the Bollinger Band expansion to the upside. The third reason relies on Solana. You can see here on the weekly that BTC has been trading pretty similar to what Solana's been doing. It's obviously the other way around. Solana's been doing what BTC has been doing. So you can expect Solana to do some kind of a leverage Bitcoin trading plan, basically. So if you see here this major expansion into March and then consolidation sideways into the right, if you pull up Solana here, you can see somewhat the same. Major expansion from October, then consolidation sideways from March onwards. So what am I showing you this on Solana? It's because I think Solana has been a risk-on indicator for the market. If the market's going to be risk on, I want to see Solana do good. If the market's starting to tumble and I see weakness on Solana or Sol BTC, I'm going to be a little bit concerned, because I think that Solana's been given hints on what the market will do. So I want to see Solana's strength. And with that being said, I'll show you guys Sol BTC here, and I'm going to pull up the Bollinger Bands again. You can see here how compressed the Bollinger Bands are starting August onwards. Somewhat of a really similar compression to what we did last year too. And I'm going to pull up here the Bollinger Band width here. Basically the width of the Bollinger Bands. You can see that you're on all-time highs on compression on Sol BTC. So you're telling me that BTC has been ranging for so long, and volatility on Sol BTC is the most compressed it's ever been in the history of this chart. So I expect a turnaround soon here on Sol BTC. I expect expansion on volatility. Basically, this indicator going back up. I don't know where it's gonna top or whatever, but I expect that volatility expansion to be a breakout to the upside, just like the one that we had in 2023, because of risk-on environment and Sol BTC just outperforming Bitcoin strongly again. When you have that breakout on BTC, Sol BTC, I expect that it's gonna do somewhat of the same move with expansion of the Bollinger Bands, doing something like that, and that would basically give us that resolution from this a strong compressed scenario here on Sol BTC. Okay, the fourth reason also relies on Solana, because Solana, as I said, it's a risk-on indicator for me. If Solana is trading sideways, I expect that the whole market is trading sideways, and if Solana is trending, I expect the whole market to be trending, whether it's that to the upside or to the downside. Actually, if we take a tumble here, if my whole bullish bias is wrong and we go down, I expect that Solana will trade and lose a lot of its value to the downside. Since it's been a proper indicator for risk on, I think that if we fail and go to the downside, I think it'll sell off bigly. So that's why I'm paying that much attention to Solana. The fourth reason, it's on BNB against Sol. I think I'll have to manufacture this chart. So yeah, why am I talking about BNB against Sol? And you can guess. You can make a guess here. It's because of the Bollinger Bands, but not only on the weekly time frame. Take a look at the 2-week here, chat. Look at how compressed the Bollinger Bands are on Sol BTC. This is the lowest compression here that BNB has been against Sol. So just like Sol BTC, I expect Solana to also outperform or underperform if we get a downtrend against BNB. Look at how compressed the Bollinger Bands are here on the 2-week time frame, man. Like this is pretty atypical to see. This is like a huge, like a tiny, not a huge, a tiny bottleneck that has formed here on the 2-week time frame on BNB against Sol. You can see somewhat of an uptrend here, almost trying to tap the Bollinger Bands, but then a sell-off was confirmed yesterday. So we'll need to see, man. I think that if we get positive price action on the market, I think that this is eventually gonna do something like that, and I think that this eventually will break to the downside. It's my bias here on BNB against Sol. Basically, Solana would outperform not only BTC but also BNB in this case, and you can see how just all-time highs on compression on the Bollinger Bands on the 2-week, and you're losing that positive momentum here too on the MACD histogram. So I expect that if we get a resolution to the upside, I expect that this chart will ultimately bring downwards into all-time lows with a massive expansion on volatility. And the last recent chat is a pretty historic one. I'm gonna pull up the weekly time frame here. And the last recent, but I think it's important as well, is just seasonality. Why seasonality? Because we're on October on an election year, and obviously a halving year because they're the same year on BTC. And I'm gonna mark every October. Here, this one. Okay. Every October of an election year for the past few cycles. So first week of October here, then 2016, or do you have October, first week of October, right here, and 2012, because why not, first week of October, right here. So look at what has happened here after October of an election year. Just go on a massive expansion. After this was an uptrend, but you can argue that you had some chop here. You did have some chop here. You had some chop here, and you have some chop here. So if history just repeats, man, I think that you will be going, maybe not that high, but you will be going on a parabolic expansion to the upside, just because of seasonality on what has happened on BTC history. On each October of an election year, you just basically enter price discovery and whatnot. So those are my 5 reasons on why resolution, I think, is just knocking on the door. I don't think my point is, if you think that the market's bearish and it's gonna come down and you want to take profits, I don't think that you have much more time to do it. And to the other side of the coin, if you're bullish like I am, I don't think you have much more time to accumulate your favorite investments before a big impulse to the upside on that case. So that's going to be it for me today, guys. Remember to go live every day, Monday through Friday, on my YouTube channel, 6:30 EST. And yeah, thanks for tuning in. Smash that like button on the way out, and I'll see you guys on the next time.